What's up, movie lovers, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're strapping into the Pork Chop Express and taking a one-way trip into a storm of green lightning, ancient magic, and 6 demon bags. We're talking about the one, the only Big Trouble in Little China. It's the movie with the hero who isn't a hero, the villains who are cooler than the heroes, and a story so wild the studio had absolutely no idea what to do with it. But how did this box office bomb become one of the most beloved cult classics of all time? Well, the behind-the-scenes story is even crazier than what you saw on screen. We're talking about a frantic race against Eddie Murphy, a flu-ridden Kurt Russell, and a director who literally sang his own theme song. So, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell so you don't miss a thing, and get ready to shake the pillars of heaven, because these are the top 10 deep dive facts you never knew about the making of Big Trouble in Little China. Let's roll. The legend of Jack Burton is iconic, but the story of how his adventure came to be is packed with incredible twists. Let's start with one of the biggest. Number 1. This movie was originally a Western. That's not an exaggeration. The very first script was a full-blown period piece set in the 1890s. The protagonist was still Jack Burton, but he was a hard-bitten cowboy whose only companion, his prized horse, gets stolen. He tracks the thieves to the newly established Chinatown district of San Francisco, and that's when he stumbles into the whole mystical war with Lo Pan. The studio executives were intrigued by the fantasy, but terrified of the Western setting, which was considered box office poison in the mid-80s, so they brought in a script doctor to perform a complete gut renovation, tasking him with dragging Jack and his entire world into the modern day. Number 2. The whole production was a frantic race against Eddie Murphy. The main reason for getting the mad dash to get this film made was another studio's movie, Paramount's The Golden Child, starring a decade's biggest star, Eddie Murphy. Both films shared an eerily similar premise. A wisecracking American hero gets unwillingly entangled in a world of Eastern mysticism. Fox executives were convinced that if The Golden Child came out first, its star power would make it a blockbuster, and Big Trouble would be dismissed as a cheap imitation. This ignited a high-stakes race, forcing the studio to fast-track production and giving John Carpenter a ridiculously tight 10-week pre-production schedule, which is borderline insane for a film this complex. Number 3. Jack Burton is not the hero. He's the sidekick. This is the film's greatest, most brilliant, and subversive joke. On the surface, Jack Burton has all the makings of a classic 80s action hero, but in reality, he is the story's bumbling, ineffective sidekick. The actual hero of the movie is Wang Chi. It is Wang whose fiancée is kidnapped, it is Wang who is a skilled martial artist, and it is Wang who understands the mystical stakes. In the film's first major brawl, Jack demonstrates his ineptitude perfectly. He fires his gun into the ceiling, gets knocked unconscious by the falling debris, and sleeps through the entire fight. He is a magnificent deconstruction of the Stallone and Schwarzenegger archetypes of the era. Number 4. The studio was so confused by the hero dynamic, they forced a new opening. The executives at Fox simply could not wrap their heads around the central joke. They were convinced the film would bomb if audiences didn't have a traditional hero to root for. So after principal photography was already completed, they forced John Carpenter to go back and shoot a brand new opening scene. That's the sequence with Egg Shen being interviewed by a lawyer, where he explicitly praises Jack Burton's courage. It was a clumsy studio-mandated fix designed to spoon-feed the audience the idea that Jack was a traditional hero. The film was originally intended to open with Jack driving the Pork Chop Express, establishing his character through his own bluster alone. Number 5. Jackie Chan was the first choice for the real hero, Wang Chi. As a passionate admirer of Hong Kong action cinema, John Carpenter's absolute dream casting for Wang Chi was a legendary Jackie Chan. He felt his skills and charisma would lend the film a crucial seal of authenticity. However, Chan had recently had a very negative experience trying to break into the American market with the film The Big Brawl, where he felt his unique comedic and acrobatic style was stifled by American directors who didn't understand his method of controlling his own choreography. Wary of repeating that frustrating experience, he politely declined the offer, leaving us with one of the great what-ifs in movie history. Number 6. Kurt Russell was genuinely sick during part of the film. Remember that sequence where Jack is watering through the Wing Kong exchange, looking sweaty, disoriented, and utterly overwhelmed by the surreal sights around him? A significant portion of that performance wasn't acting. On the day of that shoot, Kurt Russell was suffering from a severe case of the flu, with the high fever and chills. Instead of delaying production, he chose to power through it. This method acting by illness added an unplanned layer of authenticity to his performance, as his genuine physical discomfort and feverish head perfectly mirrored Jack's state of being completely out of his depth. Number 7. Thunder's explosive death was a marvel of engineering. So, how did they make thunder literally inflate and explode? It was a one-take practical effect, a marvel of 80s ingenuity. The team built a full-body suit for actor Carter Wong, lined with a complex series of custom-made air bladders. During the scene, a puppeteer using high-pressure air tanks rapidly inflated the suit in a controlled sequence. For the final moment, a small explosive charge filled with fake blood and viscera was detonated inside the suit, creating an unforgettable and gruesome demise that could never be replicated with CGI. Number 8. The film brought Hong Kong-style wire fu to Hollywood. While martial arts had been in American cinema for years, it was typically the grounded style of stars like Chuck Norris or Bruce Lee. Big Trouble in Little China was one of the first major U.S. studio films to fully embrace the fantastical, high-flying wire fu style that was a hallmark of Hong Kong action cinema. Fight choreographer James Liu introduced techniques like wire work, which allowed characters to perform superhuman leaps and run up walls. This was a radical departure and served as a crucial bridge, introducing this style to a mainstream Western audience years before The Matrix would make it a global phenomenon. Number 9. John Carpenter sang the theme song. Yes, you heard that correctly. The director behind the camera, it's also the voice on the track. That gloriously cheesy synth rock anthem? That's John Carpenter on lead vocals. He performed it with his band, the Coup de Villes, a trio consisting of himself and his old USC film school friend who would also become successful directors, Nick Castle, who famously portrayed Michael Myers in the original Halloween, and Tommy Lee Wallace, who directed Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. They even produced a movie video for it, a perfect time capsule of 80s pop culture. Number 10. The film with a box office bomb, and it crushed John Carpenter. This part of the story is a tough one. Despite its creativity, the film was a major financial failure, grossing only $11.1 million in the U.S. against a budget of around $20 million. The studio had no idea how to market a film that was simultaneously an action movie, a comedy, a fantasy epic, and a martial arts film. The failure, coming just 4 years after his masterpiece The Thing, also bombed, was a crushing blow for Carpenter. He became so disillusioned with the Hollywood studio system that he retreated to independent filmmaking for his next projects to regain creative control. So there you have it, a film born from a mad dash, a confused studio, and the hero who wasn't a hero at all. Big Trouble in Little China is a testament to the magic of practical effects, genre-bending creativity, and the enduring power of a hero who's just coming to get his drug back. It's a box office failure that became an immortal classic, proving that sometimes you just have to say, what the hell, and see what happens. What do you guys think? Is Jack Burton the greatest sidekick in movie history? What's your favorite one-liner from the film? Let me know down in the comments below. I read every single one, and I'd love to nerd out with you about it. And hey, if you have fun digging into the 6 Demon bag with us today, do me a favor and smash that like button. It really helps the channel out. And if you haven't already, subscribe and ring that bell so you can be the first to know when we drop our next deep dive. Thanks for hanging out. And always remember what old Jack Burton taught us, it's all in the reflexes. See you on the next video.